Welcome to the Explainer. I am so pumped you're here today because we are diving headfirst into a fantastic breakdown of foundational IT concepts. Specifically, we're doing a massive misconception check on computer basics. We're going to strip away all those assumptions we make every day about our devices and look at what is literally going on under the hood. So get comfortable and let's decode this digital world. You know the feeling. You sit down, you're ready to play your favorite online game. You click the icon and
So, here's our roadmap for today's explainer. 1. Tech myths and troubleshooting. 2. Hardware versus software. 3. Understanding files and storage. 4. Navigating networks and the internet. And 5. Your final tech challenge. We're building our knowledge from the inside out to solve that glitch.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, Tech Myths and Troubleshooting. Let's look at the basics of tech failure.
Let's bust a massive misconception right out of the gate. The myth, the monitor is the computer. I mean, I see people all the time point at their glowing screen and call it the computer. But fact check, the screen you are staring at is not the brain of the operation. No way. It's just one small piece, a hardware output device. Its only job is to show you the visual results of what the actual processor, the brain, hidden away in a case or under your keyboard, is doing. Actually, if your monitor totally breaks, your computer is probably still running perfectly fine in the background.
So how does it actually work? Well, there's this continuous flow between the physical pieces, the code, and you, the user. This is the core computing cycle. First, you input a command, like clicking your mouse. Second, the hardware catches that click and processes it. Third, the software swoops in with specific instructions on what that click actually means inside your game. And finally, the output is displayed back to you. It's this constant, lightning-fast loop. Moving right along to Section 2, Hardware versus Software, Physical versus Digital.
To really grasp how all this functions, we have to contrast these two things. Think of your computing system like a kitchen. The hardware, that's the physical stuff, the oven, the mixing bowls, the stove. The software is the recipe. Without the recipe, your oven has no idea what it's supposed to bake. And without the oven, well, a recipe is just a piece of paper. They absolutely rely on each other.
Let's lock these definitions down. Hardware consists of the physical components of a system that you can actually touch and see. A great rule of thumb here, if you can accidentally drop it on the floor and break it into pieces, it is definitely hardware. Your keyboard, your mouse, the motherboard, these are physical objects totally bound by the laws of physics.
On the flip side, software is the digital programs and hidden instructions that tell the hardware exactly what to do. You can't hold software in your hand, you can't drop it, it's just invisible logic. And remember this, without those invisible instructions, your expensive, shiny hardware is basically just a very heavy paperweight. The software gives it purpose.
Okay, Section 3. Understanding files and storage. This is where your data actually lives.
So the source material outlines some absolutely crucial habits for organizing files. You've got to group them by project, use descriptive names, and keep your folders nested logically. Why does this matter for our broken game? Well, if game files get misplaced or poorly named during an update, the software goes looking for its recipe and just can't find it. A messy computer actually prevents the software from executing its instructions. Good IT hygiene starts right here.
Section 4. Navigating networks and the internet. Let's see how we connect to the world.
How does information actually move? Well, it starts with a network. And a network is just a group of connected computing devices that share information and resources. Whether we're talking about two computers in the same room sharing a printer, or millions of devices worldwide, the core concept is literally the exact same. They're linked together to communicate. Which brings us to another huge myth, that the internet is some kind of invisible magic cloud. The fact? It's a massive, highly physical network of cables and routers. Even when you're on Wi-Fi, that wireless signal only travels a few feet to a router. From there, it's zooming through copper wires and massive fiber optic cables literally running across the bottom of the ocean. It's incredibly physical.
And finally, Section 5. Your final tech challenge. Let's solve that game glitch.
Let's classify our digital world to put this into practice. A mouse? You physically click it, so it's hardware. Your web browser like Chrome or Safari? That's coded instructions, so it's software. Save_.jpg? That's stored info, so it's a file. And the router in your living room? That's the gateway connecting your devices, so that belongs in the network category. Bucketing these things correctly is the absolute key to problem solving. All right, let's deploy some computational thinking to figure out exactly why that online game failed to load. Step 1, always check the hardware first. Is the computer actually on? Is the monitor plugged in? If yes, move to Step 2. Check software and files. Is the game updated? Are the files organized? If that's all good, Step 3. Check the network. Is the Wi-Fi actually on? By working sequentially through hardware, software, and networks, you completely eliminate the guesswork. You become a methodical problem solver. Which brings me to my final takeaway for you today. I want to leave you with this provocative question. If your computer screen is completely black and will not turn on, which of those 3 troubleshooting steps should you check first and why? Think about that physical versus digital divide we explored today. Apply what you've learned. Until next time, keep questioning how things work and keep learning.